Hello and welcome to the Shakespearean era cook show. Today I'll be showing you what the lower class would have most likely eaten and what Shakespeare would have eaten. They ate a lot of vegetables since it was expensive to afford meat. They would also drink ale because the water was too dirty. They would also eat white meat like chicken and especially fish, as it was a law to eat fish, and white meat was a lot cheaper to afford than red meat. Almost every social class would eat bread, as it was widely available.
Okay, so what I did, guys, is just wash off the vegetables, and then I diced them and quartered them, so then they're all nice and small. I put them in my little pan, and I put the olive oil in the pan, tossed the vegetables around, and put some Italian seasoning on it. You want to have the beets on the other side because those will get sweeter. And yeah, the vegetables should cook for 20 minutes.
So I've just preheated the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and in the Shakespearean era, they wouldn't have seasoned it with the stuff I just seasoned it with. They would have used honey instead, since this stuff was way too expensive, and the honey would have been really cheap and easily affordable. What you'd want to do also, and in the Shakespearean era, they wouldn't have cooked it in these ovens, obviously. They would have used wood burning stoves and cast iron pans. Hello guys, and welcome to part 2 of the Shakespearean Cook Show. Today I'll be showing you what the wealthy would have eaten and what Romeo and Juliet's families would have eaten as well. So, a lot of the foods that the rich ate, the poor ate. It just depended on the quality. For instance, the poor also had cheese and bread and potatoes, but the rich would have better versions of it, obviously. The rich would also like to import exotic fruits that we take for granted today, like oranges and grapes. Most of these fruits, though, they would be turned into jam form and turned into pies, which were very popular back then. The rich also ate a lot of red meat, as it was expensive, and they liked to, that was their way of showing off their wealth. And they also drank red wine, and because it was more expensive than ale and it tasted better than ale, and they couldn't drink water since it was too dirty. The rich would eat far fewer vegetables than the poor, and much more red meat than white meat than the poor. However, they would eat big birds like goose or pheasant, but they mainly ate red meat, which meant the poor were generally healthier than the rich. Alright guys, so all I've done is just put the cheese, grapes, and bread on a platter. I've got the pie right here. I put the grapes and the oranges in the bowl, and I've gone ahead and prepared the steak with some garlic powder. And all I've done is put some potatoes and onions in the oven, and well, yeah. And basically, in Romeo and Juliet, they most likely wouldn't have had oranges. Well, they would have, but since both of them were in an orchard, I think they probably would have had apples instead of oranges. So that's something to take into mind. And yeah. Alright, so I forgot to mention before that beef wasn't the only type of red meat that the rich would eat. They would also eat deer, which the poor also ate, rabbit, which the poor also ate, just because they hunted a lot, the poor. And they also had lamb, which the poor didn't have, and pork. Not like pulled pork, obviously, but like whole pigs and like their legs. And with lamb as well. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. So back in the Shakespearean era, they had multiple types of pies. Not just like apple pies, not just, fruit pies. They would also have meat and like cheese pies that everyone would eat because pies were very popular back then. And they didn't, always look like this. They look like a bunch of other stuff. But fruit were like ground up and mushed up and put into pies, like I said earlier. And fruit pies are mainly just popular with the rich, but the meat and cheese pies, since they were widely available, they were for everyone and everyone enjoyed them. As you can see, this is what the rich most likely would have eaten in the Shakespearean era.